I'll be honest, I knew this was going to be a tough challenge, but this is way harder than I thought it was going to be. So it's going to be really grind for the rest of the week.
Hey guys, I'm Patrick Nyland, and I've decided to write an entire book in 1 week and vlog it so you can enjoy it. And I already regret that decision. Um, yeah. Learning how to vlog and writing an entire book in 1 week is probably a terrible idea. Normally, if you were to take on a challenge like this, you would probably want to focus all your energy towards writing and not also learning how to talk to a camera at the same time. But as usual, I've gotten pretty ambitious with this idea, and I've already promised a bunch of people that I was going to do it, so we will see how this goes. To hold myself to this challenge, I've decided to give one subscriber $50 if I fail to complete the challenge. So the rules for the challenge are as follows. Number one, I have to write the entire book in 1 week. I have to have a finished book in 7 days. Um, Number two, the book has to be 50,000 words. Anything less than that, I don't really consider it a book, at least by the contest standards. And number three, if I fail, I have to give $50 to one subscriber. That's kind of like a motivator, to keep me to it. Um, so yeah. Um, Going into this process, I did not write any notes. I might have done 30 minutes of research on YouTube, but I didn't write any of it down. I don't have an outline, and I'm just going straight into this. The idea I have, it's a sci-fi concept. I thought of it a while ago, but I never put it to the paper in any way. And basically, the general concept I have going into it, because I've only written 30 words so far, it's a science fiction book about an astronaut who is sent on a mission to hopefully discover life on Europa. And it deals with the challenges of getting there and how she deals with her family. And yeah, that's the general concept. As I write more, I'm a real pantser. I guess I'll tell you, I'll keep you guys updated. And yeah, this is day one. I haven't really made much progress yet, but part of that is because I've been spending a lot of time trying to figure out the whole video thing. Which again, it was probably not a good idea to vlog this as like at least for as like the first thing of it.
So here's a look at what I've written for Europa so far. I'm splitting up my chapters into different diary entries. I think that fits well for the story. I mean, I guess you could pause the video if you want to take a look at my writing. I'm not recommending that, but and yeah, so far today I've only written 410 words, but the first words are always the hardest, so I'm glad I've gotten a page down so far.
It's early morning, day two. I got about 3,000 words on the page yesterday, which on a normal day is a pretty good accomplishment. But considering to complete this challenge, I need to write about 7,000 a day. I am pretty behind. So yeah, I'm gonna need to pick up the pace here. If I'm being honest, I'm probably gonna lie in bed for another hour because I have zero desire to write it right now. But yeah, hopefully I take a little nap here and then I'm ready to get back on this.
As you can see, I wrote a decent bit more on day two. I wrote a couple diary entries from the point of view of the main character, and a prologue which is in a different point of view. But this is my version history, just so everyone can see that I'm actually doing this day by day. And the one thing I will say is I'm at about 6,000 words right now. I'm going to check that in a second. And in order to be on track for the challenge, I need to be at 14,000. So I'm going to have to pick up the pace here.
It's day four, and as you can see, I'm in a different setup with different colors than you've seen so far. This is my apartment in college. I moved back day three, which is why I didn't take any videos of like me actually like writing or talking. But yeah, if I look exhausted at this point, it's because I am. Writing is really draining, especially when you try to do it for as many hours a day as I have, at least for this challenge. But I will say it's also rewarding. I mean, the amount of words I've written recently to see a story kind of come together. Now it's not a perfect story. One thing I've noticed is if I was writing this story with a normal time frame, there's a lot of changes I would have made early, but those are the type of changes that maybe I make too frequently, and as a result, I don't finish a project. Where with this project, since I don't have that much time, I kind of made a rule for myself where you can't really make a change. I can look back if I forget like a character's name, or like if I forget exactly what everyone event was, I can do stuff like that. But I'm not really allowing myself to go back and make changes because that's just no waste time that I simply don't have at this point. So it's kind of interesting to really hold myself to that rule and just see how much writing you can get done. Because on one hand, yeah, like if I were to actually go about publishing this book, I would have to go back and do a couple of rewrites, or at least one, because there's stuff I thought about with the beginning that I already wanted to change, or maybe word stuff better because now I have a better understanding for the story. But at the same time, if I was writing this the way I normally would, I would probably still be on the first chapter. I would have no idea what happens later on in the story, and as a result, I wouldn't even have this intel I have from like shooting through. So that's definitely something I'm going to take into account when I think of how I want to incorporate what I've learned from this into my usual writing. Also, this is not going to be my usual setup. I just have not set up any of my room, and I really do not want to see anyone to see what my room looks like. So until I fix my room up, I'm going to be filming from here. But hopefully tomorrow I have the room set up.
It was at this point in the video that I learned how to make a time lapse. So I tried to get a time lapse of me writing. I don't love the way I look in it, but yeah.
So it is day 5, and I've already gotten a quick writing session in. One thing I will say I've learned so far from this is I am a much better writer in the morning, which is ironic because going back to a lot of the projects I've worked on in the past, I normally write at night, but I found I hit my word count goals a lot quicker in the morning. I also find that I stick to it a lot better. For example, a lot of times I set a goal to write during the night, and a lot of times I get halfway there and I fall asleep. Or I say, okay, I'm gonna lie down for 10 minutes and then I'm gonna write, and then I wake up in the morning. Well, as in the morning, I feel like I'm a lot more motivated. So for this challenge at least, I'm gonna be trying to write more early in the day, because later in the day I've been getting kind of tired and just pushing it off to the next day, which is that in this challenge you cannot do. At day 5, I'm kind of behind, so we'll see if I end up meeting the goal or not. But regardless on if I hit 50,000 words, yeah, it would suck to lose the $50. But at the end of the day, I'm writing a lot more this week than I have in a really long time. And with college and all that stress that comes with it, I've kind of lost, not that I've lost like my love for writing, but I've kind of like lost the rhythm of actually writing. Like I've done a lot of thinking about what I want to write and what I want to work on, but I really haven't put any work towards it. And this whole experience has reminded me how much I enjoy putting words on the page and creating a story. So hopefully this will inspire me to write more this semester.
I can assure you this is the cleanest my desk will be all semester. Also, if you can see the red wires in the corner, those are actually from my combat robot that I attempted to build last semester, only for it to explode when I wired it backwards. Fun fact. Oops.
So I'm filming this late into day 6, and unfortunately I was unable to make up for the days where I didn't hit my writing goals for this challenge. And I'm not giving up, but at this point I am evaluating whether or not I should try to pull an all-nighter to try to catch up and give myself a chance at completing the challenge. I've written enough and I've had enough good hours of writing where I feel like it's possible. But on the other hand, I'm a little tired, and I'm hesitant to push myself too much further. Like maybe I'm gonna give it my best shot, but without doing an all nighter or overexerting myself. Because to my surprise, so far this has been a very positive experience. I was expecting this to be torture. I was expecting to be like pulling my hair out throughout the entire video. But so far, just in like challenging myself to write a book in a week, I've kind of like rediscovered my love for writing and my joy for storytelling. And I don't really want to ruin that by putting myself through a terrible all nighter experience like I would if a paper was due for school the next day. I'm definitely gonna give this my all, but if I don't succeed, I'm definitely gonna try this challenge again at some point. It's definitely possible. I'm at, I can't remember, I'm at 20,000 and something words at this point, and it's we have like in the novel I haven't even gotten to space yet, which is where the majority of the story is supposed to take place. So this is definitely looking more like an 80,000 word book, which is also positive because a lot of times with my previous projects I've had pacing problems and gotten like I've had trouble to hit even 40,000 words, even though the book requires more words, just because I guess show don't tell, that type of stuff. I just don't write enough a lot of times, where my stories are way shorter than they should be, and there's not enough meat in the middle of the story.
So this is the last screen share I'm going to do for this video. I did shoot one for every single day, but the audio quality hasn't been incredible, if as you've probably already noticed. So I've decided to cut them to a minimum. I did think this would be a good way to show, though, how I wrote every single day, some days more than others. But like going back to talking about the story a bit while it's in the background, I'm sure some of you guys are probably reading a little bit of what I wrote, maybe trying to find spelling errors. Anyway, at this point in the story, I've kind of hit a wall where my characters have spent a ton of time in space and nothing seems to be happening. And that's a timing issue I'm going to have to resolve in the story somehow, or maybe find a different way to tell it. Because based on the way the story works, the character spends 3 years in space going to Europa, and then 3 years coming back, and that's just too much time to fill, at least with the current way I'm writing it. So yeah, as you can see here, yeah, I was at 22,000 words. Even if I did pull an all-nighter, at this point it was probably a stretch I would finish the challenge. So I am gonna write as much as I can, but I'm gonna get to some sleep too. So yeah.
So yesterday was the final day of this challenge. I didn't vlog anything yesterday because I kind of just wanted to focus on writing. Although I did take the quick screen recording, and I was not able to write 50,000 words in 1 week. But my final word total is 31,264 words. So, on one hand, I did fail this challenge, but I don't want to call it a failure because 31,264 words in 1 week is a lot. And that's something I definitely want to be proud of. I don't want to get down on myself. Obviously, I lost the challenge. The way I'll be doing the $50 giveaway is I will take all the names of subscribers and I will put it on like that wheel app and I'll spin it and I'll see who it lands on. That way, and I'll do it in the short so everyone can see the wheel. It'll be a fun video. So check that out. But talking about what I kind of learned from this writing a book in 1 week experiment. No, I didn't do it this time, but I feel like if I picked another week in the future where I had more, just not that I don't have a lot of time in a week, but if I picked a week where I didn't have to move to school and do all that stuff, this is definitely possible, and this is definitely something I'm gonna want to try again. Also, this time I didn't come in with any sort of outline, any sort of plan, and yet I was still able to accomplish so much. The book Europa, I'm probably at the halfway mark. Even though my goal was 50,000, I think this book is gonna be a little longer. So maybe I'm just approaching the halfway mark. In terms of the book, we haven't even like the characters haven't even reached the moon Europa, which is where some of like the biggest parts of the story happen. And overall, I actually do feel motivated to continue writing like every day. Not as much, obviously. Trying to write 7,000 words a day was torture. And you can see this in some of the videos at some points. You can see that I'm exhausted. But surprisingly, and maybe it's because I didn't fully reach the goal, but surprisingly, I was thinking that after I finished this video, I would not want to write for a while and I'd have to take another break. But surprisingly, I just feel more motivated to continue this Europa story. So that's something I'm going to do. If you're considering doing this challenge after I took it, I would actually encourage you to do so. I think it was a very positive experience. One thing I would say is just don't push yourself too hard. I think a lot of the positives I got from this challenge came from not overdoing it, because I feel like if I overdid it, if I if I really pushed myself to the limit, I might have finished this challenge, but I might have like burnt myself doing so. You never want to burn yourself out as a writer, and thankfully I didn't do that doing this challenge. So if you think you can handle it, I would encourage you to try to write a book in a week. There's nothing stopping you. And yeah, this was a really cool challenge. And thanks for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Going forward with this channel, I think a lot of my content is I'm gonna do some more contests like this, where I come up with a challenge for me to complete in like a set time frame. I'm gonna do more videos talking about my writing experience, probably some more comedy. That's always worked for me well on Instagram, and we'll see how it goes. So let me know what you thought about this video in the comment. If you have any suggestions on stuff I can improve, this is my first video, and I am open to everything. Thanks for watching.